In this video, I'm going to dispel the myth that you need a college degree in order to get into medical coding. Hey everyone, I'm Victoria. I'm a medical coder, auditor, educator, content creator, and on my channel, I provide tips, tricks, and tutorials to help you be successful in a medical coding career. A lot of people seem to think that you need a college degree in order to get into medical coding, but that is definitely not the case. A lot of people, including myself, have been extremely successful in this field without even an associate's degree. So if you're interested into getting into the medical coding field, stick around and I will tell you all about it. And after watching this video, if you want more information on how you can get trained to become a medical coder in 6 months or less without going into student loan debt. Oh my God, you guys, student loan debt is ridiculous in this country right now. You have to sign up for my masterclass because what I do is I take all of my insights that I've had in well over a decade of being in this industry and dump it all in there. The right way to train for medical billing and coding, what certifications you want to be preparing for, how to get a discounted training program, how you can get a free laptop with your program, and a lot more. What it does is it breaks down that whole roadmap of, I'm someone who's interested in becoming a medical biller and coder, and how you can go from that to being job ready as a medical biller and coder in as little as 6 months. It seriously just takes away all of the guesswork, and I've been getting lots of great feedback from my viewers. So what are you waiting for? Click that link in the description and get started in your career in medical billing and coding today. So I've mentioned time and time again that I am a very, very proud community college girl, but I actually don't have a college degree from my community college. I have a diploma, a certificate as a medical billing insurance specialist. So with just that diploma, I have built on that. I've gotten lots of medical coding certifications like the CPC, which is one of the top coding certifications to go for. And I've worked as a coder. I've worked as an auditor. I've been a supervisor of professional fee coding, supervising very high level auditors and educators. I've even been a coding educator at a technical school, a college, and independently as well. Plus, I've been a published author, a national speaker, a webinar host, and a whole lot more. The only time I was ever told, like, you're gonna need a degree is when I had expressed interest in maybe eventually becoming a coding director. Now, that popular coding credential I talked about, that CPC, Certified Professional Coder, that's through the AAPC. And for that, or even the coding credentials through AHIMA, the CCS or CCSP, you don't need to have a college degree of any kind. In order to sit for and pass those exams, you really only need adequate training. Technically speaking, you could go on aapc.com right now, purchase the exam, and sit for it online like probably tomorrow, but you're probably not going to do very well and pass the exam without the proper training. One of the top questions I get asked, especially from people who are on a budget or they're already in the healthcare field and thinking about learning medical coding as a career switch, is, can I self-study this? And I actually have a whole video where I talk about self-study. You can click that right here on the little I. And there are options to self-study, but honestly, till you pay for textbooks and practice materials and the code books themselves, because you need to have all the different code books to sit for the medical coding exams. Till you pay for that, you don't actually wind up saving a lot of money, because a lot of people will go through all of that, realize that they're in over their head, or they just need a little bit more direction or motivation or someone to keep them accountable, and they wind up signing up for a training program anyway, so it winds up costing them more. So the sweet spot is kind of finding something in between that's not as expensive as that intense formal training that you get with a college degree, because a lot of times in order for colleges to get certain funding and things, they have to make programs fit in a certain box and say, oh, well, okay, since this is an associate's degree program, it has to be this many credit hours. So they fill it up with a bunch of junk that you don't necessarily need. But you also don't want it to be such a discount deal that it doesn't give you the adequate training to pass your exam and be ready for your career. Now, having said that, I would never discourage anyone who really wants to go and get that college degree from getting it. But also consider that once you're in the field, it might be easier then to go and get that degree if you decide, oh yeah, this is something I want to pursue. There are a lot of employers in the healthcare industry that will reimburse for further education expenses, especially these larger institutions. So if you're working for a large hospital or healthcare institution or an insurance company, oftentimes they'll have reimbursement for that. So let's say you get into medical coding and then you go, you know what, I really like the compliance aspect of this and I want to get into corporate compliance, but they tell you, hey, really want you to have a bachelor's degree, but we'll help you reimburse some of those tuition or student loan costs. At that point, then you can sign up and pursue your bachelor's degree and you still have all of that income coming in from working in medical coding. Not to mention, you're not going to have as expensive student loans. There are certain credentials out there that they do require a degree for. So AHIMA has regulations for their RHIT, Registered Health Information Technology credential. You have to go through an appropriate associate's degree. That's one that AHIMA has designated is approved for sitting for that credential. But the RHIT isn't really considered a quote unquote coding credential. There is a coding aspect to it, but a lot of employers, when they're looking to hire for like a coding specialist job or a coder job, they are looking for someone that has a CPC or a CCS or CCSP. They're not looking for an RHIT credential. I've actually worked with some employers that have had RHITs, and when they wanted to move into a coding position, they've told them that they have to get like a CPC or something. There are employers out there that will take RHIT for coding positions, but it's just more common to take, let's say for professional fee coding, the CPC or the CCSP. But as far as the AAPC is concerned, there are zero credentials that require any kind of requirements really at all. I mean, aside from paying the exam fee and passing the examination. A lot of them will have suggestions of prerequisites, things that they would highly suggest you take in order to be successful in passing that exam and possibly working in that field that that credential is designated towards. For example, if you're looking to take the CPC, they suggest that you take medical terminology and anatomy. Now, that doesn't mean you actually have to sit though for a formal course. You don't have to call up your college and sit for MedTerm there. You could self-study, you could take a cheap online course. I've actually had some viewers tell me that they have found resources through their local library that they've been able to take some courses in medical terminology and anatomy or get books so they can study basically for free through their library. And I have free resources for that as well. If you check out this video, I talk about how to learn medical terminology very easily as a medical coder. The bottom line is medical coding is a great career whether you have a degree or not. It's in demand. There's an insane amount of opportunity for growth. And if you need more information, things like salary ranges and things, you can also check out this starter playlist that I have for people who are interested in getting into medical coding. And if you think that medical coding might be the right fit for you and you want to get training, definitely check out my medical coding masterclass. It is linked in the description below. I will see you guys in the next video. And until then, just keep on coding on.